These young men have been dreaming and imagining themselves scoring touchdowns in the NFL ever since Pee Wee years. They have been doing it at a high level, at a consistent level, at their respectable teams for a amount of years now. Everything is starting to come to a reality and become true for these young athletes, and hopefully they can become the best man possible as they go on with their journey on their future teams to become rookies in the NFL draft. What's up, everybody? This is yours truly, Man Myth Legend, Honcho Day, back here once again at When and Where. If this is your first time to the channel, please like and subscribe here at the bottom of the page. And while you're at it, please hit the notification bell so you can be notified for the future videos that's going to go on in the future. With that being said, also, I'm here to work on the receivers here today. So drop a comment at the bottom of the page of who you think is the best fit for who. There's plenty to like, there's plenty to love, there's plenty to hate, there's plenty to criticize today. So join me today as far as the film room on who you think is the best fit for who and who you think is the best out of the bunch. So the first receiver that we're going to work on today is Chris Olave from the University of Ohio State. As you see in this first clip, he is working in the slot right now, which was one of his favorite spots in the whole field. Ohio State was loaded as far as all over skill positions, in which with him working in the slot, he is doing a slant here, working against man coverage. It looks like his offense is doing an RPO look here, so his quarterback is going through progressions to find somebody, and he's able to find Olave. Olave's special ability is able to stem up routes to help his route running to get him wide open, to make his job easier and make the quarterback job as easy as possible for him. This guy Olave has third down written all over him, if you ask me personally. I just feel like that's just his breadwinner, if you ask me. The reason why I'm believing that is in this second clip, as we see it right here, originally on the right side was the twins with Wilson and Olave. Wilson was sent over in motion on the jet sweep on the left side, which left Olave on the ISO on the right side. The defense themselves are running a cover 3. If you played in the secondary before, then you know a cover 3, that means you're told to cut off the boundary, so no sideline plays is available. Everything that's going to happen is in the middle of the field. So Olave's job is to identify the coverage in the zone to figure out where's the hole in the defense. And luckily in his skinny post route, it fits right with the defense, and he's able to fit past everybody in the middle of the field for a touchdown here. So in this third clip, he doesn't get the reception here or the target, but I wanted you to pay attention to what you see as far as him getting pressed here. Now, one of the questions in his game is, how does he react against man press coverage? He did deal with lots of this kind of look because he had 2 other first round receivers. One of them is not eligible to come out this year, so he's coming out next year's draft most likely. So they had talent all over the board, like I mentioned. So you had to pick and choose your poison of who you was going to double if you were going to double anybody on the field. So people have had questions about his man press ability, and I wanted to show you this because I'm a believer of him playing against man press coverage in the future. I think this is what his calling will be on third down mainly. Now, just like any other of my favorite prospects, they do have weaknesses, in which one of his weaknesses in Olave in his game is you will want him to be more physical in his game while he's sitting at 6 feet tall. He's just not the most physical guy when the ball's in the air. He does all the dirty work as far as getting available and getting open, as you see in this clip here in the red zone. But once the ball's in the air, when it's time to play through contact and snag on somebody, let's say, he's not the guy that you asked for to do this, let's say. As far as player comparisons, I was able to come up with Devontae Smith, Calvin Ridley, and Keenan Allen. Just like Devontae Smith's availability in the intermediate game was incredible, which landed him to be a top 10 pick in the past. And then Keenan Allen and Calvin Ridley's ability to stem up routes to shake defenders off of them, not even known as burners, has played vital parts in their career to be successful as Pro Bowlers and All-Pro receivers. So that's who my comparison is, as Chris Olave. Not going to be known as the most physical receiver as far as jump ball, but if you're looking for a guy that's going to be wide open by himself and that's going to frustrate the defense, Olave is the calling. Who we have next is Garrett Wilson from the University of Ohio State. Also, people think that he's actually the wide receiver one coming out from that school, which I might think different, but here we are today. His first clip here is being a streak route in which he's making the defender think something possibly different. Like Olave, his stemming process is just as fantastic, if not better, arguably. He sets up his left foot with the jab step to make it seem like that he's going inside for maybe a slant or a dagger route, or maybe even curling up, and then he sets up the head fake to head up right back outside towards the pylon to score on the streak here for 6 points. So this next clip here, you're going to see a twins on the left side here. Looks like it's the strong side of the field, with the H-back being in the backfield. But anyway, you see Olave comes out of his route, and about 15 yards in, he looks like he's about to run about a skinny post to make the corner react, and then he snaps his hips right back outside along with his head to get outside of the boundary. By the time he's able to create all the separation, stemming up the route as beautiful as he did, he has 5 yards of space when he's catching the ball out of bounds, which is always fantastic.
Face the boundary to make him seem like he was running a go route. Wilson knew this whole time that he was going to be setting him up to run a hitch somewhere between 5 to 9 yards, and all he had to do was just manipulate him to set up his teammate to get the target on the back end, as you see at the top of the screen here. So in this last clip, you're able to see that when he motions in, he's running his route. Boom, he sets up his right leg to set up the dead leg on his stem to cut out, but that wasn't the only cut that he used there. Once he got to the 40-yard line, he used the dead leg once again to make himself available for his quarterback. The way that this kid gets open is pretty insane at times. So for a comparison, I came up with Jared Judy, Stephon Diggs, and Deontay Johnson. As we know, those three receivers, they are pretty well known as their stemming ability to set up corners to make them switch their hips and switch their shoulders in opposite directions to set them off platform. I think Garrett Wilson is going to have a good history of doing that. He's not going to test as the biggest, strongest, or fastest, but he's going to show a lot of heart, and he's going to show that he is a true football player.
In the history of the NFL Combine, there's only been 2 receivers that have been 6'3" and weigh 225 pounds and have ran less than a 4.4. The first one being Calvin Johnson, the second one being DK Metcalf, and the next one that could possibly do it in this year's NFL Combine being Treylon Berks from the University of Arkansas, playing receiver here. Now, as you see it in these first 2 clips, yes, these clips are back-to-back plays against the same team, and this kid plays with enough violence, tenacity, anything that you could think of as far as being a bully. Man, this kid Berks literally fits the mold of that. He's not afraid to use all of his frame to go up against a guy to make plays. This guy is oozing with Alpha 1 receiver ability, if you ask me also.
Utility to line up just about anywhere on the field, including the slot here. He's going to run a slant in the inside, as you see here, setting up his dead leg with his right step being a jab step, and getting his shoulders turned north and south to reach the pylon. And you're going to see him carry this guy for about 10 plus yards here. You like to see this with a guy that's, once again, his size. So this highlight here against Alabama, which you would consider his Heisman moment, in which he was able to win the ISO jump ball on the right side of the field, was able to abuse the corner, get his shoulders turned north and south towards the pylon of the field, and was able to cross everybody's face for about 60 yards, being again about 225 pounds doing that. And with the last clip here, it's going to be a man-to-man look from the Alabama defense versus Treylon Berks. He's going to pop out here from the slot position here to the flat. Now, with them playing against man-to-man, he has to make this first guy miss if he wants to show how elite he is, in which he's able to do, get his head and his shoulders turned upfield, give the guy a nasty, violent stiff form for another 6 points on the board. So the comparisons I came up with for Treylon Berks was a taller version of A.J. Brown with the physicality that he plays with, along with DK Metcalf with the breakaway speed that he could possibly generate, as far as with the 40 coming up here soon.
The next receiver prospect that we have here today is Jahan Dawson from the University of Pitt State. As you see right here on this clip on the top of the screen on the right side, I know it's hard to see since they're wearing white in the snow. You see his tremendous ball skills. He has some of the best ball skills in this whole draft, only being 5'10", but he definitely plays way bigger than his frame shows that you see on the film here. So one of his other strengths was for him to use his short intermediate quickness to get corners and secondary members off platform at times. As you see here, when he runs his slant, he creates enough space to create an alleyway for the quarterback to. Here goes the same route again in a different game. Seeing guys with intermediate quickness like this, it makes it easier to run plays like slants on first down because that can be used as a run game also, along with any other short intermediate plays. So this time in the clip, he is lined up in the slot on the right side. He's going across the middle here. As you see, he's not afraid to go across the middle simply with him being so small. He plays bigger than he is, and the way that he's able to go up and grab this ball in the second level like this, man, it's very eye candy, you could say. Alright, so this next clip, this is the clip that literally made him an NFL prospect to many guys' eyes. People was comparing him to KJ Hamler before. KJ Hamler plays for the Denver Broncos now, and he's a speed demon. But as far as when you see this guy go up and grab the ball like this, you possibly think that he's way more than that, and possibly a wide receiver one, an alpha one receiver here. Alright, so improvements that Dawson can work on is not round off as many routes. Like Wilson, when you see Wilson's film, he's able to move his hips a certain way and use head fakes. In Dawson's game, he doesn't have that just yet. He rounds a lot of routes off like you see in this clip here. He's able to catch the touchdown, but since he's rounding off the route, the corner is able to retreat and possibly make a play on the ball. Luckily, Dawson was able to make a play and be a better athlete here. His weakness is him rounding off routes occasionally, so if he's able to clean that up, he's not that far off from being Antonio Brown, if you ask me. The next receiver that we have on the board is Jamison Williams from the University of Alabama. He sits about 6 foot, maybe about 180 pounds. He was going to be the fastest guy this year coming out of the draft, but he ended up tearing his ACL sadly, and he was looked forward to run about 4.3. But as you see in this clip here, he's able to use his speed to make the defender think that he's going deep, and then he breaks off out of nowhere into the middle of the field, curling up and coming back towards the ball to make Bryce Young's job a whole lot easier. He did plenty of work to help Bryce Young win the Heisman Award this year, being one of the few Alabama players that have done it in the past. So thanks to Williams. Here goes the same route once again. In a different game, he sells the goal with his speed change level towards the secondary member. And as soon as he's able to turn his shoulders upward, talking about the corner here, Williams breaks that route off and curls right up and is available for Bryce Young for another target here. Alright, so you're able to see his feet and hips on this double move here. Once he comes out of his break at the 35-yard line, he sells his jab step with his left foot to make it seem like that he's going inside for possibly a dagger or a slant. Makes the corner react there, and once he's able to sink his hips right back out, he completes the double move and gets past the defender for another touchdown here. Here goes another route here. This time he's running the slant. He got his foot in the dirt, his right foot showing off his jab step to manipulate the corner, and he was able to cross everybody's face to score here. I think he's one of the best when it comes down to being a yak receiver because this kid's vision is pretty elite if you ask me. Famous plays of this year, as you see, they're pinned down in their territory about 90 plus yards, and this kid was able to break off on his post corner route about 15 yards down the field and was able to stretch this play that we're going to do of Jamison Williams today. But as you see, this dude has game breaker speed when he gets the ball in his hand. As far as comparison, I was able to come up with a Chad Johnson light. The next receiver that we have also is coming from Alabama, being John Mitchy III. John Mitchy is not the most gifted guy as far as athletic ability, but he is an uber competitor as far as a guy that's ready to play any football game. As you see in this first clip, he's able to get through the release on the press coverage and able to find himself available on the cover 2 coverage in a soft spot. Now, Mitchy's not a burner, like I said before, the strongest yak receiver, But on this clip here, I wanted to show off some of his ability that he's able to beat press coverage, in which that's always a good sign to see from young receivers. So he's able to get past this defender here, use his speed as much as he can to score the touchdown to put up 6 on the board. Even though the play wasn't completed, I wanted to show off his head fake and the way that he was able to sink his hips on this play to get the corner turnaround and manipulate him to break him off to be wide open ultimately. Weaknesses, we would like to see him become a better yak receiver because it just seems like he just kind of settles as soon as he catches the ball of what he gets instead of fighting for more. He's also coming off the ACL tear just like Jamison Williams. He tore his ACL, I believe, in the SEC championship game, so that was just unfortunate for him, but hopefully a speedy recovery for him. As far as a comparison, I came up with a Justin Jefferson light because they were questioning his yak ability coming out and his ability to line up in the slot also. The last but not least receiver that I have on the board here is David Bell. As you see on this first clip, he's lined up in the slot, and the way he's able to separate from cast, you will see this on a consistent level on his tape. His hips, his feet are very, very elite, if you ask me, along with his first step. He's just simply not going to be the fastest guy. He might test somewhere around 4.6, maybe 4.7. So this time Bell is going about 20 yards into the end zone, in the red zone here, in which he's on an ISO on the right side with the defender. He has to sell that he's running a hitch, so he explodes off the line with his left foot, which you appreciate. And as soon as he gets to about that 2 of the 20-yard line, he sets up his right foot with his jab step to expose the corner to make it seem like that he's going to break off right there. With that foot, with that jab step, is very, very crucial because, I mean, with that step, he's able to create all that separation in that small amount of space. So as soon as you're able to see that, you see him work his hips, and then he gets downhill to get available across the middle of the field to put him closer in the end zone. And then this is the last clip that I'm going to show of Bell, but this is one of my absolute favorite clips of the whole video that I've made today. It is because, as you see, that he's able to make an in-game adjustment with his slot receiver not helping him out as much as he's lined up on the outside here running the streak with the spacing, but he's able to just keep on trusting the process as far as his route, and he was able to make one hell of a grab over the top against one of the best defenses, one of the best secondaries actually in football in Notre Dame. So who my comparison was for David Bell was Allen Robertson. He mentioned on I Am an Athlete podcast with Brandon Marshall that he studies a lot of Allen Robertson, and he just happened to be his favorite receiver in the game. Just like Robertson, I feel like he's very underrated and very slept on as far as who you think of the best of the best. So I think the comparison is valid there. So that brings us to the conclusion of our video today of 2022 wide receiver prospects. There's plenty to like, plenty to love, plenty to hate, plenty to criticize. So go ahead and do that for me at the bottom of the page here as a comment. And please don't forget to like and subscribe here. I'm yours truly, Man Myth Legend, Huncho Day here at When and Where, and I'm out until next time.